Good evening, Facebook Live. Apostle Terrence Lyons of Ecclesia Ministries here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Coming to you on tonight, bringing you tonight's Bible study. Pray that everything is going well with everyone. Just a minute here to get everything going and locked in. All right. Pray everything is going well with everyone. Good evening there, Pastor April. Good evening there, Aunt Minister Gwen. Everything has been well for everyone. I've got a little different look today, all for a reason. We'll make sure that everything is where it needs to be here in just a second. Make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to do. I'm looking a little different. Got on a different color hat. A lot of different variables tonight, but it's going to make sense by the time we're done. It's been a very busy week. Some within my control, some outside of my control. But in all cases, we still here. I'm not as clean cut as y'all are used to seeing me, but like I said, it's all got a reason. Good evening, there, sis. All got a reason. So, good evening there, Prophetess Tanisha. Like I said, we're going to get some stuff stirred up, and I think it's going to make a little more sense to you tonight. Pray that everyone was able to take in Saturday and see that message for what it was and what it was supposed to be in the moment that it was in. This is going to kind of springboard off of that. And like I said, knowing what the challenges were all this week from different things, trying to do onboarding. Good evening there, Overseer Melissa. Good evening there, Cousin Michelle. Having to do onboarding and having to do a lot of extra stuff for that. Able to help play somewhat nurse. I ain't the best of nurses, but able to help get wife through her procedure and all of that. So, like I said, a lot of outside stuff, even from different ones that have had some things take place in their life. Been a very different schedule this week, like real different. And when I say it's different for even me, it's different, like very different. But again, we here, we getting ready to rock this thing out. Going to be challenging because I'm sure you've already seen the question tonight. Can you identify you? So there was, as I went through today and leading up to today and getting things, good evening there, Mr. Clarence and Miss Linda, as I was getting things set up for today, getting the study in, getting the prep in through the week, everything has been majorly different this week. And not in a bad way, just in a different way. And what happens sometimes is when everything is different, sometimes what you've got to do is you have to dwindle everything down to the least common denominator and find what's solid out of every situation. So as I began to look at all of the different stuff, whether it was calls coming into me, whether it was things that were taking place that I'm about to be partaking of, different positions that I'm going to have to do, different things that I'm going to have to take care of, and all of that, the common denominator was me. Now, again, wasn't in a bad way. It was just I was the one common thing through all of the phone calls, through the different things that were changing with onboarding, through with all of the different things. I was the common denominator. So at that moment, what I had to do, even though I began to feel the different things and the different angles that things were coming from, I had to, part of my onboarding was having to go and get TB tests and different things of that nature. The process of doing that, you got to go one time, let them stick you with the needle, and then go back, 48 to 72 hours later and let them check you. Well, I'm in my head, I'm thinking, all right, go sit through that. When I go back to check me, it shouldn't take long. I didn't have to sign in, didn't have to do all the thing. Well, almost an hour and a half later, and y'all know how I am about my time. Then they are like, okay, we'll call you back to check you. Well, I didn't even go back to a room. They stopped me in the hallway, and it's like, we just need to see the place where we stuck you. And I showed it to them. They ran their finger across it and like, okay, you're done. Now, in that moment, I was hotter than fish grease. I ain't gonna lie, because I sat there, like I said, almost going on an hour and a half, and that's all you had to do. And I waited an hour and a half for that. I had to wait through all of the other people and all the other situations for that. And like I said, I ain't gonna lie, I was hotter than fish grease. Look, I can't even get my hour and a half back. I can't. There is literally nothing else I can do for this moment. And it was there when I realized and knew, okay, that's what this week is. That's what this week is about. This week is about being able to stay you while you go through very different circumstances and be able to still carry out the will of the kingdom in that process. So now, as we get ready to break this off tonight, I'm looking a little different, but you're going to find out what ain't different by the time I'm done. So to go ahead and get this thing kicked off and get it started, I want to start out. We're going to look at three different passages before I give you our first point. So I want to start out with 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 3 and 4 to start out with. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3 and 4. Because remember our question, can you identify you? I ain't talking about nobody else identifying you. I ain't talking about nobody else doing you. I'm talking about, can you identify you? And in certain circumstances, some of y'all done lost yourself now. And that's what you gotta get a hold of. You're gonna have to get a grasp back on. You done lost yourself. You can't even identify yourself anymore. You done got so tied up in serving other folk. You done got so tied up in pleasing other folk. You done got so tied up in other situations that you can't even identify you right now. So in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3 and 4, it says this. It says, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. Can you identify you? It says, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, watch this, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them. So this is why even in bad news, you can't hide your good news. See, because when it's talking about the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, if you're hiding the fact that, watch this, even in a bad situation, if you live through it, it's still good because you can bounce back. See, so some of you need to get ready to bounce back. Yeah, it happened. Yeah, it was wrong. Yeah, they mistreated you. Yeah, no, it didn't go like you wanted it to go, but you're still living, so it's time to bounce back. So y'all type that in for me. It's time to bounce back. See, so what's got to happen is you first got to be able to see the good out of the situation that's happened, even if it was bad. Because all things work together for good. Doesn't mean everything is good. It's just that all things work together for good. So what has to happen is in a lot of cases, God's checking to see how quick are you going to bounce back. He's checking to see how quick are you going to bounce back, or are you going to let it linger around and lay around and not allow the gospel that rests on the inside of you? Because that's what you got to understand. God's got an investment in you. Ooh. Y'all type it in for me. God's got an investment in you. Yeah, you. That's why you got to be able to identify you. God's got an investment in you. And he sent you into some situations and some circumstances and some things that are going on. And he's saying, look here, I want them to see me through you. I want them to see me through you. So the reason I want you to catch that is because what he's saying, if our gospel be hid, then it is hid to them that are lost. See, it's some lost folk looking for something good to follow. And that's why he got you in that situation, whatever that situation is. It's some lost folk looking for some good to follow. And that's why you got to understand sometimes the way that God allows things to even be set up for you. When it didn't go like you wanted to go, he's got it set up so that somebody can see the good that's in you. Because what he's got set in place right there is he's saying, I got you looking this way this time because that's going to get that one's attention and that one's attention and that one's attention. Now, everybody else probably know you, but the ones that don't know you, that might see it for the first time. I'm trying to give them some hope, some glimmer of light. So I got you in that situation. Watch this, when it's all in shambles, it ain't going nothing like you normally want it to go. It ain't going nothing like it normally goes for you. Now watch this. What he says, in whom the God of this world hath blinded. That's the point I want you to catch. See, some of you right now, you so blinded by the God of this world, whether it be because of voting, whether it be because of the economy, whether it be because of whatever else agenda is out there. The God of this world got you blinded. Watch this. So much so that you can't even identify yourself. So once you become blinded to yourself, how you going to help anybody else? You can't even see the good in yourself. See, and that's what's messed some of you up, is because you think because you tripped up that it ain't no good in you. So you now looking down on you based upon the God of this world's image. And what he's wanting you to do is he's saying, look, I made you in my image. I got an investment in you. So I knew you wasn't going to do perfect when I allowed you to walk into the situation. So it ain't about your perfection. It's about my progression. It's about me and my light shining in the world. But the first thing I got to get you to do is you got to be able to identify yourself. You got to be able to see who you are and who I put you there to be. You got to see that first. So this is what I want you to catch, because this is why this is so crucial. So now I want you to go to John chapter 12. We're going to look at verses 36 through 41. John chapter 12, verses 36 through 41, because you've got to be able to identify who you are in every situation. See, this is what I want you to get. See, I feel something right here. I might wear this hat some more. I'll show y'all some things on it later. But watch how this goes. So John chapter 12, verses 36 through 41 says this. John chapter 12, verse 36 through 41. It says, while you have light, believe in the light. That's key right there. While you have light, believe in the light, that you may be the children of light. Okay. These things spake Jesus and departed and did hide himself from. See, so last week when I was telling y'all about that there's a necessity of there being a time that you're not feeling his presence, there being a necessity of the time that you can't see him or seek him or feel it. This right here, again, is just confirming and backing up again what I was trying to tell you then. So when he says, departed and did hide himself from them, that's crucial. See, some of y'all been trying to seek, wanting to feel God's presence and wanting to, and he's saying, I'm hiding from you right now because I need to see, watch this, did you allow the word that I spoke to you to take root in you so that you will be able to identify you in the midst of a changing situation? See, this is what you got to catch right here. Because he goes on and he says, but though he had done so many miracles before them. Wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa. So what it's saying is he's done showed you that he got you. So y'all type that in. He got me. So see, he got me even when I can't feel it. But I have to be able to identify that I know he got me. He got me even when it feel like he ain't got me. Now, my job in that process is to know without a shadow of a doubt that even though I don't feel like he got me, he got me. That's my job. So I got to be able to identify that I'm still his child, no matter what the harshness of this situation feels like. Here's why I want you to catch that, because it goes on. It says, though he had done many miracles before them, yet they believed not on him. Wait a minute. Time out. What is going on? All of this is saying right here is that he hid himself from them. They didn't believe on him. Watch this. Watch verse 38. That the saying of Isaiah the prophet might be fulfilled, which he spake, Lord, who hath believed our report? See, again, that's where he's got you in a position and you in some places that he's wanting others to see him through you. He said, who hath believed our report, and to whom hath the arm of the Lord been revealed? Therefore, they could, watch this, not believe, because that Isaiah said again, he hath blinded their eyes. So notice what I showed you in 2 Corinthians 4. The God of this world blinded them. This time right here, this is saying the Most High is the one that's blinding them. Uh-oh. We got a problem. Look at what happens. Goes on and it says, he hath blinded their eyes and hardened their heart, that they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their heart. Remember Isaiah 55, my ways are not your ways. My thoughts are not your thoughts. My thoughts are higher than your thoughts. My ways are higher than your ways. It's not saying that we can't know them. He's saying, I want you to understand there is a difference between my thoughts and your thoughts. That's what he's clarifying. So this is why I want you to catch this. And he goes on and he says, watch this, not understand with their heart and be converted, and I should heal them. These things said Isaiah when he saw his glory and spake of him. So this is what happened when Isaiah sees his glory. That's when he starts talking about the train of his temple, glory, the train of his glory, fill the room, all of those things. When he's talking about that, this is saying, I done had an encounter with him. And that's just what's done happened with all of y'all on here. You done had multiple encounters with him, but you also have those times where you feel like he ain't there. Don't y'all play with me tonight. Don't play. Don't set my fucking meter off. Everybody done felt like he ain't there sometime. Feel like, Lord, where you at? Cause this right here, this done got off the charts. What's going on? What are we really doing right here? Everybody sideways. Dog sideways, cat sideways. People are passing by in the store side. Everybody sideways. What in the world is going on? Everybody done felt that at some point. You might have felt it extra this week. But this is what I want you to catch. Because in verse 40 is where he says, he has blinded their eyes. The reason I'm pointing that out is because I want you to see is that sometimes he don't want you to see. See, I'll type that in for me. Sometimes he don't want you to see. Talk to me, Adam. He puts Adam to sleep before he brings his Eve along. I just read to you where he He hid from him. He hid himself from them. See, this is why I want you to catch this. Let me give you this one last scripture, because sometimes he don't want you to see. So let me give you this last scripture so I can give you our first point and get this thing rolling, because I feel like somebody is fixing to get their true breakthrough tonight. You're going to be able to identify you in the midst of what you ain't been understanding over the past couple of weeks. Ooh, watch this. So the third scripture that I want you to look at is 1 John chapter 2, verses 10 and 11. 1 John chapter 2, verses 10 and 11, where it says this. It says, he that loveth his brother, watch this, he that loveth his brother abideth in the light, and there is none occasion of stumbling in him. But he that hateth his brother is in darkness, and walketh in darkness, and knoweth not whither he goeth, because, that darkness hath blinded his eyes. So there's three separate places that blindness is in place from three separate things. One from the God of this world, one from the Most High God, and one from the darkness. So this is what I want you to catch about the first point. So our first point is this. Blinded eyes don't see for various reasons. Just make sure that it's not self-inflicted from hating yourself or someone else. Ooh-wee. I love y'all. I probably could have told you to put on a neck brace and cover yourself and prepare yourself for that. But that's why I need for you to catch this first point. Blinded eyes don't see for various reasons. Just make sure that it's not self-inflicted from hating yourself or someone else. See, there's a lot of believers that don't even believe right now. There's a lot of believers that don't even believe right now. I'm going to leave it at that till I get to the end. When I get to the end, it's going to be no holds barred, because there's a lot of believers that ain't even believing right now. But I'm going to deal with it later. But this is what I want you to catch. So to get ready for our second point, show you a couple of different spots here as well. I want you to go to Judges chapter 6. We're going to look at verses 12 through 16. Judges chapter 6, verses 12 through 16 says this right here. Watch this. Judges chapter 6, verses 12 through 16. It says, and the angel of the Lord appeared unto him, talking about Gideon. So the angel of the Lord appeared unto him and said unto him, the Lord is with thee, thou mighty man of valor. And Gideon said unto him, O my Lord, if the Lord be with us, why then is all this befallen us? Watch what happens. It says, and where be all his miracles which our fathers told us of, saying, did not the Lord bring us up from Egypt? But now the Lord hath forsaken us and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites. Watch this. And the Lord looked upon him and said, go in this thy might. So notice the Lord does not rebuke him for what he said. The Lord says, okay, I'm glad you are looking, watch this, for my manifestation. I'm glad you're looking for how I work in this. You recognize that everything ain't flowing like it should be flowing. But see, a lot of y'all recognize it, but you won't say nothing. See, and that's your own fault. when you recognize that it ain't how the Lord got it set up, you need to be asking the Lord, look here, Lord. Now, I know you might be hiding from me right now, but this is what I need for you to catch. He's like, you might be hiding from me right now, but Lord, I ain't seeing your results right here. I ain't seeing your results in this relationship. I ain't seeing your results in my finances. I ain't seeing your results in my health. I'm not seeing your results in the outcomes of these situations. So Lord, what's up, Lord? Where it at? This is why I want you to catch this, because when he goes on, he says, the Lord looked upon him and said, go in this thy might, and thou shalt save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have not I sent thee? And he said unto him, O my Lord, wherewith shall I save Israel? Behold, my family is poor in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house. And the Lord said unto him, surely I will be with thee, and thou shalt smite the Midianites as one man. So this is a recurring theme with different ones that God calls out. And you might have even had that same kind of expression when he called you out. But this is what I want you to catch. I want you to go to Jeremiah chapter 1, verses 4 through 7. Jeremiah chapter 1, verses 4 through 7. I'm going to try to my best to just do right and just read the passage and not go all into, because Jeremiah 1 just be doing something to me when I go to Jeremiah. But this is what I want you to catch. So in Jeremiah 1, verses 4 through 7, watch this right here. Jeremiah 1, verses 4 through 7 says this. Watch this. Jeremiah chapter 1. Excuse me, verses 4 through 7. I said 1 through 7, but it's 4 through 7. This is what I want you to catch. Jeremiah chapter 1, verses 4 through 7. See, get in Jeremiah 1 and I just be doing something to me. Watch this. Jeremiah chapter 1, verses 4 through 7 says, then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Then said I, Lord God, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. But the Lord said unto me, say not, I am a child. He said, quit saying that about yourself. Remember our question. Can you identify you? See, God spoke to a specific version of you. He spoke to a specific version of you before you manifested here in the earth. He hides that inside of us and then begins to speak to that place only when we got to walk through this earth because of what I showed you earlier, because the blindness of the God of this world can overtake you sometimes. The darkness can overtake you sometimes. So it's at that point, he can't talk to the one of you that was born here. He has to talk to the one that is hid inside of you that was born here. Let me get out of that, because that ain't even in the notes. But I told y'all, when I get to Jeremiah 1, he just take me there. But this is what I want you to catch. It says, say not, I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak. He's saying, whatever I give you to say, when I put you in those positions, watch this, that you don't even feel me all the time. Because you don't fully understand why he's even got you there. You don't even fully understand why he's got you talking to them. You don't even fully understand why that situation is even taking place. So he says, okay, he said, I'm going to give you what to say. I'm going to give you what to speak. I'm going to give you who to speak it to. I'm going to give you where to speak it. I'm going to give you all of that. But this is what I need for you to catch, because this is why I want you to understand this. He says, whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak. So I want you to notice with Gideon, he's telling Gideon, he's like, okay, I want you to go in this your might. You recognize that my miracles aren't manifesting. You recognize that you're not seeing what your forefathers told you. You recognize that this ain't working out the way it's supposed to be working out. Thank you for being honest with me. That's what God looks for. He says, I would that you be cold or hot. He said, thank you for being honest with me. Now, I want you to go in that. Keep looking for the miracles that I told you I'm going to work through you. I want you to keep looking for that. So that's what he tells Gideon. Then he's telling Jeremiah right here. Jeremiah's trying to make the excuse and saying, look here, I'm a child. I'm too young. All these folks are older than me. They're not going to listen to me. He said, I need for you, quit saying you're a child. Listen to what I'm going to give you to say to them. Say it exactly like I'm giving you to say it to them, and watch what I do. So those two instances, I want you to see that so that I can now give you this second point. Don't focus on what you're not. Focus on who God says you are. Because remember our question, can you identify you? Because the you that God spoke to before you even came into manifestation here in the earth, that's who he's wanting you to function by right now. That's who I want you to function by right now. See, because the reason I want you to catch this is to get ready for our third point, because my time done. It was feeling so good. I gotta keep moving right here. So for our third point, watch this. For our third point, I want you to go to Genesis chapter 40, verses 12 through 15. I'm going to try to do right, because when I get to talking about Joseph be doing something to me too. But this is what I need you to catch. Because in Genesis chapter 40, verses 12 through 15, says this. Genesis chapter 40, verses 12 through 15, it says this. See, because what I'm really getting you set up for, see, Saturday we're going to start talking about the character of your desire. So we talked about clarifying your desire. And I had to get all of that put in place before we could start talking about the character of your desire, because you've got some things on the inside of you that are set up a specific way. They ain't like nobody else, but you've got to understand what that character is, so that it can withstand all of the different conditions that you're going to have to experience. So this is what I want you to see in Genesis chapter 40. Watch this. Verses 12 through 15 says this. It says, and Joseph said unto him, this is the interpretation of it. This is when he's in prison now. And now the butler and the baker have come to him. They're asking for an interpretation of a dream. So this is what happened. He said unto him, this is the interpretation of it. 3 branches are 3 days, yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head and restore thee unto thy place, and thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand after the former manner when thou wast his butler. But think on me when it shall be well with thee, and show kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also have I done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon. I want you to pay close attention to what all he says right there. He didn't just talk about the moment that he's presently in. He's talking about the moment that before he even end up to be in the position that he's presently in, he's addressing, look here, I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews. My family did some wrong things to me. Oh, somebody fixing to break through right here. My family neglected me. My family left me out to dry. My family doesn't talk down on me. My family has molested me, abused me, forgotten about me. Whatever your family done to you. It might not have been family. It might have been somebody from another company. It might have been somebody from another church. It might have been somebody from another situation. But they done you wrong. Can you identify you even in the midst of them doing you wrong? That's what I want you to catch right here with Joseph. Joseph is still executing his gift right here. He can interpret dreams. He's executing that gift, and this butler and this baker are coming to him, watch this, in a place that he really shouldn't even be. See, some of you are in places right now, you don't even understand how you got there. You don't even understand why you're there. Watch this, you didn't make the choice to end up where you were. See, this is just like John 9. Oh, I already see. See, this is just like John 9, where they come and ask, Lord, who did sin, this man or his parents? Watch this, that he was born blind. See, you've been trying to think back and wonder, did I do something to end up here? What did I do wrong that caused me to have to experience that? What did I do to see? You ain't identified the right you yet. That just helped somebody right there. You ain't identified the right you yet. You're still relating to the abused you. You're still relating to the overlooked you. You're still relating to the mistreated you. You're still relating to the, watch this, because this is what I want you to catch. This is what I want you to catch. I am trying to do right. This is so hard right now. But I want you to understand this. Joseph understands that I'm in a position that I have done nothing to cause me to be here. His brothers had envy and jealousy toward him. They sell him. Then he ends up. Let me do this because I'm finna get ahead. Let me just go ahead and give you this point right here. Let me give you this third point that I need for you to catch, and then we finna deal with Joseph and his earlier actions. But our third point in this tonight is being able to identify you when you're in a place that you don't belong requires understanding your character. Ooh-wee. Being able to identify you when you're in a place that you don't belong. See, some of you have had to just do what you had to do because somebody done you wrong. It was not your own initiation. Somebody just flat out done you wrong. And it's now caused you to just have to do what you had to do. Now you just have to do what you gotta do. You did not do anything to see, somebody's fighting what I'm saying right now, but I need you to catch this. You didn't do nothing wrong in that situation. You might have done some other stuff wrong about some other things, but this situation that keeps coming to your mind right now while I'm saying this, you didn't do anything wrong for that one. What's happening is God's trying to see if you can identify you even out of the wrong that was done to you. Can you identify you even in the midst of the wrong that was done to you? This is why it's so important, because being able to identify you when you're in a place that you don't belong requires understanding your character. That's why in verse 15, when he says, I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also have I done nothing that I should be put into the dungeon. So now let's deal with what he's talking about. Now I need you to go, watch this, to Genesis 39. We're going to look at verses 5 through 21. Genesis 39, verses 5 through 21. He says this right here, because this is where I'm subject not to act right. Because watch this. In Genesis 39, verses 5 through 21 is where it says this. It says, and it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer in his house and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. See, that's why some of you are so upset right now. You ain't done nothing, but just because of your presence, somebody else is still getting blessed. Now they getting blessed, but you in a position, watch this, that's not even conducive of who you actually are, because he's taking you somewhere. So I need for y'all to type that in for me. God's taking me somewhere. So he's blessing them and their stuff just cause you there. But you ain't got to the fullness of who you know he's told you gonna be. So watch what happens. Watch what happens right here. It goes on and it says, watch this, Lord bless the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. See, this is what I need for you to catch. It says, and he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored. And it came to pass, watch this, it came to pass after these things, that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, lie with me. But he refused and said unto his master's wife, behold, my master wotteth not what is with me in the house, and hath committed all that he hath into my hand. Watch this. There is none greater in this house than I, neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. He said he gave me freedom to do everything, watch this, with everything in the house except you. You his wife, you his. And see, to y'all, told y'all I ain't gonna be able to do right. To y'all preachers and to y'all prophets and to y'all of the fivefold ministry. The church is his bride, not yours. Watch how you treat her. I ain't gonna fool with that. I ain't got time to fool with that, but this is what I want to show you. This is what I want you to catch. So then he says, because thou art his wife, how then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? Watch this. And it came to pass, as she spake to Joseph, look at this right here, day by day. So this wasn't just one time. See, a lot of people preach this like she just came at him one time. She kept coming. When he rejected her the first time, she was like, does he not know who I am? I'm thinking he gonna bow to this. He gonna bow to this. And Joseph kept saying, nope. The answer is no. So look at what it says. It came to pass as she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her to lie by her or to be with her. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within. And she caught him by his garment, saying, lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand and fled and got him out. And it came to pass when she saw that he left his garment in her hand and was fled forth, that she called unto the men of her house and spake unto them, saying, see, he hath brought in a Hebrew unto us to mock us. He came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. So now she done commenced to lie. And watch this, cause she got rejected in righteousness. Ooh-wee. See, that's what's got some of you messed up, because you got rejected in righteousness, and now you mad at somebody. Now you upset with somebody. So that's what she does. She gets rejected in righteousness. Should be thankful that didn't nobody just want to use and abuse her. But instead, she is upset because he turned away from me. He turned away from all of this. It was God's protection. Wherever you feeling rejected right now, and you were able to keep going, you were able to keep moving, it was God's protection for you. Quit crying over that. Quit crying over those things. This is why this is what I want you to understand. See, because watch this. This is why this is so crucial. Because it goes on and he says this right here. When it says, watch this. Let's look at verse, and pick back up in verse 14. Came to mock us. He came in unto me to lie with me. I cried with a loud voice. Came to pass when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled and got him out. And she laid up his garment by her until his Lord came home. And she spake unto him according to these words, saying, the Hebrew servant, which thou hast brought unto us, came in unto me to mock me. He made a pass at me. You lying old tramp. You are the one that was making a pass at him. But nobody know that. Well, watch this. Look at what happens. And it came to pass, verse 18, as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled out. And it came to pass, watch this part right here. And it came to pass when his master heard the words of his wife. Watch this. Which she spake unto him, saying, after this manner did thy servant to me, that his wrath was kindled. And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound, and he was there in the prison. Verse 21, but the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy. I was like, wait a minute, time out. Mercy? He didn't do nothing. He didn't do anything wrong. And now he is put in a place that he's now put in prison. He's the one being punished, and he didn't even do nothing. Why mercy here? But watch this right here. And gave him favor. See, see, what I'm finding is that every time that God releases mercy, there's a higher level of favor than there is when he releases his grace. Now, with his grace is one level, but with his mercy, it's another level. See, because that's where that double portion starts to come in. He said, I know you got mistreated. Let me give you a little bit more right here. I know you got done wrong. So let me give you a little bit more right here. Now right here, you was just positioned right. and I'm going to release my grace and favor on you here. And it's going to be great, and it's going to be mighty, and it's going to be wonderful, and you didn't work for it, and you didn't earn it, and you didn't do all of that. That's going to be good. But over here where you got mistreated, over here, I got a double portion for you. So y'all type that in for me. I got a double portion coming. So all of you that's done had to deal with somebody doing you wrong, he said, I needed for you to be able to identify you while you're being done wrong. I needed for you to be able to identify you while things are causing you to be overlooked when you don't feel like you should be being overlooked. So that's why I wanted you to see in chapter 40 first, because it was there, Joseph getting overlooked in prison, where right here, he's been being done wrong. So all of y'all that's looking at this right here, right now, in all likelihood, you got a double portion right around the corner. Because God set it up for you to see this message right here. God set it up for you to see this one right here at this appointed time. But when I'm not looking like I normally look, I ain't shaved like I normally shave. I ain't got on the hat that I normally wear. So things are a little bit different tonight. The purpose of them being different tonight is so that you can know without a shadow of a doubt that now, your double portion is probably coming. So this is what I want you to catch, because this is why it's so important that I give you that piece of information before I give you this next point. Because it's with this point that I want to tell you, watch this. Don't lose yourself just because someone else can't identify you by your character. Oh, see, this is why I want you to catch this. Because don't lose yourself just because someone else can't identify you by your character. See, when the scripture says things like, be not weary in well doing, for in due season you shall also reap if you faint not. I need for y'all, if you really believe it, to type in, it's my season. It's my due season. If you really believe it, I need you to type that in there. It's my due season. Now, if you ain't ready to believe it, it's okay. I know I'm kind of catching you off guard with my unshaved face and my blue hat on tonight. But if you really believe that it's your due season, type that in for me, because I'm trying to help you identify you right here, right now. Even with the other folk that, watch this, even with the other folk that can't identify you by your character. See, if anybody should have been looking at their wife sideways, it should have been Potiphar. Because Potiphar, watch this, had been receiving extra blessing just from putting everything in Joseph's hand. But then all of a sudden, not with the wife not being real, and going and telling him a lie on Joseph, now he's going to let wrath come in. He gets upset, and now him getting upset, he's about to kick out what's been getting him blessed. See, that's why I want you to understand, it's your double portion time. Some of you have been dealing with some stuff that you shouldn't have had to deal with. Some of you have been treated in some ways that you shouldn't have been treated. But I got to help you identify you right now, even while you in that place. He's in prison. He's sent to prison over something he didn't even do. But him being sent to prison was what set him up for his double portion. Now, let me go ahead and dig deep now. Let me go ahead and move forward. Let me get you ready for this fifth point. So for the fifth point, I need you to go to Proverbs chapter 11 first. I'm going to show you two passages here. Woo! I pray this is making sense to you because I can feel myself getting excited, but I got to get to some specific things before we shut it down tonight. So in Proverbs chapter 11, verse 23, I want you to see that. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 23 says this right here. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 23 says this. Proverbs chapter 11. Went past it. See, getting excited over here. Getting myself all out of position. Watch this. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 23 says this. Says, the desire of the righteous is only good. The desire of the righteous is only good. But the expectation of the wicked is wrath. This is why I want you to catch this, because this is why this is so important. So now I want you to go to 2 Peter chapter 1, verses 1 through 4. 2 Peter chapter 1, verses 1 through 4. Because this right here is part of one of the ones that I've been chomping at the bit to get to. And I'm subject to not do right the rest of this message tonight. Because, watch this. 2 Peter chapter 1, verses 1 through 4 says this. It says, Simon Peter, a servant and an apostle of Jesus Christ, to them that have obtained like precious faith with us through the righteousness of God and our Savior Jesus Christ. Grace and peace be multiplied unto you through the knowledge of God and of Jesus our Lord, according as his divine power hath given unto us all things. Now notice what that says. All things that pertain unto life and godliness through the knowledge of him that hath called us to glory and virtue, whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises. Whew. That by these you might be partakers of the divine nature. Notice what that says. Exceeding great and precious promises, that by these you might be partakers of divine nature, of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust. So notice what that set up. He's saying through the precious promises that by these, not by your works, not by how folks done treated you, not how folks done looked over you, not how much work you've been doing, it's by the precious promises. That by these, look at what it says, you might be partakers of the divine nature. Not just nature, the divine nature. The before you. That part that Jeremiah was talking about. Before I formed you in the womb. That part of you. That's the you I'm wanting to know. Can you identify? Can you identify who God was speaking to before you had any problems? Can you identify the you that God was speaking to before any situation went awry? Can you identify that you? Or are you still looking at your brokenness? Are you still looking at how you've been mistreated? Are you still looking at how you've been held back, ostracized? Are you still looking at that? Or can you identify the you that was before all of that? See, this is what I need for you to catch, because this is why this is so important. The reason I wanted you to see those two scriptures is because I wanted to give you this fifth point with this right here. Each experience that you experience should clarify the character of your desire.
Every time that something happened to Joseph, he ended up second in command, even in prison. This is why I want you to catch this, because every experience that he allows you to experience, he's saying there's something from this experience that I need for you to be able to identify the you that was talking to me before you got to this spot. This is why I want you to catch this. Because now that we get ready for our 6 point, got 2 more points, and then we'll be done. But like I said, I ain't got to what I need to tell you about tonight. Because when I said earlier that there are some believers that don't even believe right now, we're going to address that. But to get ready for our 6 point, I want you to see this. I want you to go to 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 17 and 18. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17 and 18. It's right here. This right here got me kind of stirred up, because I told you something on Saturday. When I told you on Saturday that a father won't try to control the outcome of a child, but a Lord will try to control the outcome of a servant. See, a Lord of the earth will try to control the outcome of a servant. But a father that mimics our Father in heaven will never try to force the outcome of a child. This is why I need you to catch that. And this is why I'm saying that to you, so that I can show you this in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17 and 18. Because in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17 and 18, it says this. It says, wherefore, come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you, and will be a father unto you. See, remember our point that we closed out on Saturday, when I said you got to trust the Most High God as Father in places that you used to trust him as Lord. So right here is why I wanted you to see that, because when he's saying, come out from among them, be ye separate. When he's saying be ye separate, he doesn't mean you have to completely separate yourself. Here's what he means. Because if we completely separate ourselves from the world and those that are therein, how are we going to get them converted? So he's not meaning that in the fashion of that you just got to be totally shunning of them. What he's saying is set up a boundary. See, I'll type that in for me. Set up a boundary. See, when you will set up that boundary, teach them lions. When you'll set up that boundary, see, what's going to happen is they understand what I need for them to do. They understand the assignment. They understand that what has to happen is when they show their distinction between themselves and the world, they just identified themselves. They just identified who I was speaking to. So this is what I want you to catch. This is why this is so important. Because when he says, come out from among them and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you and will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, saith the Lord Almighty. This is why I want you to catch that, and this is why that is so important. Because for our 6 point, don't let changes allow you to forget who you are. Don't let changes allow you to forget who you are. Don't let changes in your financial status make you forget who you are. Don't let sickness cause you to change and forget who you are. Don't let a relationship cause you to forget who you are. Don't let a position that you get on your occupation, in your bit, don't let that change and make you forget who you are. Because this is what I need you to catch. That sets us up for our last point. Because for our last point, I want you to go. I'm going to show you a couple of different spots now. And first one I want to show you is Proverbs 19 and verse 22. Proverbs 19 and verse 22 says this. Proverbs 19 and verse 22. It says, the desire of a man is his kindness, and a poor man is better than a liar. Okay? The desire of a man is his kindness, and the poor man is better than a liar. The next point I want you to see. I want you to see Jeremiah chapter 13. We're going to look at verses 15 through 23, and I'm going to give you our last point. I'm going to let you get out of here. A little over time, but kind of got stirred up in me. Y'all see I'm a little different tonight. So we're going to be okay with it being a little different. But this is what I need you to catch. Jeremiah chapter 13, verses 15 through 23 says this. Watch this. Jeremiah chapter 13, 15 through 23 says this. It says, hear ye and give ear. Be not proud, for the Lord hath spoken. Give glory to the Lord your God before he calls darkness. Y'all remember the scriptures that we started out with, and I showed you the three places that causes blindness. God of this world, Most High God, and darkness. Here we are saying, give glory to the Lord your God before he calls darkness, and before your feet stumble upon the dark mountains. And while you look for light, he turn it into the shadow of death and make it gross darkness. But if you will not hear it, my soul shall weep in secret places for your pride, and mine eyes shall weep sore and run down with tears, because the Lord's flock is carried away captive. Say unto the king and to the queen, humble yourselves, sit down, for your principalities shall come down, even the crown of your glory. The cities of the south shall be shut up, and none shall open them. Judah shall be carried away captive, all of it. It shall be wholly carried away captive. Lift up your eyes and behold them that come from the north. Where is the flock that was given thee, thy beautiful flock? What wilt thou say when he shall punish thee? For thou hast taught them to be captains, and as chief over thee shall not sorrows take thee as a woman in travail? And if thou say in thine heart, wherefore come these things upon me? For the greatness of thine iniquity are thy skirts discovered, and thy heels made bare. Verse 23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. Here's why I wanted you to see this passage right here as we get ready to land this plane tonight. Because I want you to understand something about character. The last point is this. Character doesn't change because of conditions. Character does not change because of conditions. That's why the question is, can you identify you? Can you identify you when all of your conditions change? Because your character should still stand out no matter what the conditions are. Your character should stand out whether it's an election year or not. Your character should stand out whether the finances are funny or not. Your character should stand out whether somebody's degrading you or not. This is what you got to understand. See, watch this. The character is the mental and moral qualities that are distinctive to an individual. So the reason that I know that some believers ain't even believing right now is because you got more hope in who's going to be president than who's already savior. You worried about who's going to hold a place in the White House? I'm just asking. Because we at a place that the Most High is wanting all of us who are his children. That's why I wanted you to see that about his children. He wants to be father to us, his children. But if his children are crying like they were in the scriptures, we want a king, we want a king. He said, you don't want that. I got you covered in a way. I got you covered by precious promises that are greater than the Constitution. And don't misread what I'm saying. Don't throw my character out of here, because this is what I want you to understand. We live in America. Those of you that live in America, there are some on my page and some on this page that you are in other countries. I'm not discrediting that. You're in a different place. I'm not saying where you're at don't matter. So again, don't go that route. But to the ones of us that live here in America, what God is trying to show us is he's saying, no matter who is in the White House, heaven ain't going to change because of it. Heaven ain't fixing to change for a Democrat or a Republican. I could care less which one you vote for. It's not going to matter. Because the government of whose shoulders that I go by, of his kingdom, and of the increase of his peace, and the increase of his government, shall be no end. So the reason that I'm wanting to make sure that everybody understands tonight is, can you identify you? See, this is what I want you to understand. Can you identify you? No matter what the conditions are in the country. Because when I'm his, he said, I got you by my promises, not by what that country produces. I got you by my precious promises. That's how I'm going to take care of you. I got you by my covenant. He said, I will not alter what has gone out of my mouth. He said, in the covenant that I have put together from Abraham to Jesus Christ, if you will just do what I give you to do and set that boundary up, it's not going to matter who's in the White House. It's going to matter that you trust what I gave you to live by. The just shall live by his faith, not the Constitution. The just shall live by trust in him. That's what he's wanting us to do. He said, this is the example that I need for y'all to be in the midst of this election year. He said, all of these folk that say they trust in me, he said, all I'm asking them is just trust me. That's all I want them to do. He said, a leopard can't change his spots. So if I've set it up for you to glorify my name in the midst of everybody else being in chaos. Watch what I do according to what I've promised you. All I need for you to do is identify me as your father. Because when you identify me as your father, what you are now representing to all who are watching is that as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Point number one, blinded eyes don't see for various reasons. Just make sure that it's not self-inflicted from hating yourself or hating someone else. Point number two, don't focus on what you're not. Focus on who God says you are. Point number three, being able to identify you when you're in a place that you don't belong requires understanding your character. Point number four, don't lose yourself just because someone else can't identify you by your character. Point number five, each experience that you experience should clarify the character of your desire. Point number six, don't let changes allow you to forget who you are. Point number seven, character doesn't change because of conditions. Can a leopard change his spots? Nope. They're going to stay the same. And he's saying, who I put you in the earth to be, that's what I need for you to work out in your soul salvation. That's what I need you to set your mind, your will, and your emotions on. He said, I put you in this specific time frame so that you can be exactly who I put you there to be. Wherever you are within the United States, wherever you are upon this globe, he said, I meant for you to be in this time frame to represent me and my kingdom. I just need you to do what I put you there to do, what I spoke into existence before the foundation of the world. I just need for you to walk that out, live that out right where you at, in the neighborhood you in the house you in the apartment you in, wherever you at. He said, I just need for you to live that out. And he said, I need for you to make sure that you identify the you that I talk to, no matter what environment you're in. Because I built you for such a time as this. Saturday morning, around about 10 a.m., we're going to be at the Ramada Inn this weekend. Excuse me. Going to be coming on live on Exclusive Ecclesia around about 10:30ish. So again, look forward to everyone that is within the area to be able to come out, fellowship with us, have a good time. Those of you that aren't able to, that aren't in the city, that's fine. That's why we have Exclusive Ecclesia. If you're not a part of Exclusive Ecclesia, whoever invited you to come on tonight to listen, or whoever invited you to look at this laughing joker that got his hat on backwards and unshaved today, whoever invited you, they could actually add you to Exclusive Ecclesia. Thankful to have everybody that is on tonight. Looks like we saw some new faces, new people. Jeff, Mindy, Mabry, thank you all. Hopefully I'm not butchering your name. I don't like messing up nobody's name because God put you here. But thank you for taking time to tune in, and blessings to whoever invited you, or if we just passing through and you saw us, thankful to have you on tonight. Just a major blessing to see all of our good folks, all of our regular Ecclesia folks. I'm thankful for you to be on here tonight. And excuse me. And again, Saturday morning, around about 10 a.m. when we'll be in live person, and then around about 10:30ish is when we'll come on live to Exclusive Ecclesia. Blessed night tonight.
Y'all, I can't let this grow out too much because I'll be itching. So I just can't do it. But time and situation, and I understood as I was putting it together, and it now makes sense for why he wanted me to do this. Can you identify you? So hopefully y'all saw that even though I got on a different hat, even though that I not shaved like I normally shave, that I'm still me, my character, and bringing forth God's word, which I love to do. I'm still me. Gonna always be me, no matter what goes on. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Y'all have a blessed rest of the evening. Keep pressing forward, and just know your double portion's coming. That's what this was about. That's what tonight was about. Tonight was set up in such a way that everything was set to bring forth something completely different in an even better way. So it can set in motion that double portion. So y'all have a blessed rest of the evening. Peace.